Guys, this is Huff, our friend Huff.
Oh, sorry, buddy. Here.
Huff, come sit down with us.
Down.
I'm learning the commands today.
Down.
Hunter Hayes and Huff. Can you get any better than that?
Huff, down. You're good. Sit, buddy.
You're good, buddy.
I'm not doing it right,
Well, why don't
basically,
you-
is how this goes. I'm so
Why
sorry.
don't you tell us a little bit about Huff and why he's
Yes,
here with you today?
absolutely. Huff just wants to see
So
everybody,
he can
by the
get
way.
relax and
Yeah.
say hello.
Huff, here, bud. Here, Huff. Hey, come on, man.
Down.
Becca. Good boy.
Good boy, good boy.
boy.
So Huff, I got to meet him actually this morning, and we've been doing interviews together. He's way better at it than I am. But Huff works with Warrior K9 Connections, trained by veterans to be service dogs for veterans. It's an incredible organization. And as soon as I heard of it, I was super stoked about what Heartgard is doing. So Heartgard is teaming up with them. Bunch of stuff, okay? So hold on tight for this. But we're asking as many of you guys out there streaming here to basically tweet, Instagram, nominate a veteran. In fact, we're asking for a hashtag nominate a veteran. Heartgard's going to pick somebody to get to have an all-expense-paid trip to Nashville, Tennessee, and a year's supply of Heartgard to take care of their best friend. But in the meantime, every single nomination, right, when you nominate a veteran, so tell us your story or their story, talk about them, tell us about them, maybe include a picture. But every time you nominate a veteran, Heartgard's going to donate $10 to Warrior K9 Connections, to these guys, to make sure that up to $100,000 we get to continue this program and continue these guys working with veterans, which is absolutely incredible. So round of applause for Heartgard and Warrior K9 Connections.
And can you maybe do you know a little bit about Huff's story personally and
What's
what
that?
he's been
What's
going
that?
through? Do you know anything about Huff's story personally? And I think he's 12 years old now.
I know a little bit.
Yeah.
Mr. Rick was kind enough to give me kind of the rundown. Mr. Rick has had him since he was a puppy. And yeah, I mean, when they're puppies, they're the whole program, right? They train them for service. So you're talking about 2 years, hundreds of soldiers working with these guys and get to know these guys. And I mean, we all know, like, obviously, what just looking at Huff right now is making us feel good and make it like kind of lifting us up and making us feel better about life. But it goes so much deeper when you're working with veterans and servicemen and women, and the obviously the emotional and the physical sort of healing that happens with these canines. I mean, they're incredibly intuitive, right? So they know, man. He knew this morning that I needed a little pick me up because I was exhausted, and he was like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" So he's just like he's doing now, as he knows. But I watched him walk into a room and literally introduce himself to everybody in the room. He walked up to everybody, which is probably what he's going to do when he gets off the stage in a second. But he just walked up to everybody and was just like, "Hey, how's it going?" So. They're incredible, and it goes so much deeper than what I'm making it sound like, too, honestly. There's so many resources online for you guys to check this out and see for yourselves, and I encourage you to do so because it's pretty rad. And what they're doing for our veterans, our much well-deserved veterans, our men and women, is rad. So, yeah.
Yeah, what made you want to be a part of this cause? I mean, you must be a dog lover, but do you have any history yourself with servicemen and women? And
I do. My dad served in the Army and just kind of grew up with an incredible sort of viewpoint, getting to know his story as serving, and then getting to know we just got back from a 2-week run where we exclusively did shows for just military bases in the UK, Germany, Spain, Italy, and that's not the first time we've done it. It's just the longest run we've ever done. And it was a blast. It was so awesome because you're with them. You're seeing how they work. I mean, obviously we have an incredible appreciation for our men and women. Whatever we can do to serve them in the slightest way because they've served us in the biggest way. Man, we'll take that opportunity in a heartbeat, whatever that is. And being with them, kind of living in their world, was very educational. I mean, getting to understand what their life is like, it's heavy and it's incredible, the strength that they have, and just the stories are just so inspirational. So any chance we get, man, to show our men and women some love, we do. And I know I speak for everybody here. I have a feeling. So, we love them deeply.
And how is it to perform for those people who've done so much for our country and are out there every day working hard?
Humbling.
Yeah.
Humbling, man. It's your perspective changer. It's incredible because it's just a totally different experience because you've literally got everybody. I mean, the whole family comes out, you know, and you're giving them a night at home, you know, when they're away from home. And it's crazy to think that that's what you're doing. You know, to me, I'm just going to jamming and having fun. But the way they put it is very, very sincere, and they're incredibly appreciative, and you know, we're incredibly appreciative of them. So it's a special moment. Those are special shows. You know, we take home the best memory from those experiences. So I keep petting him because if I stop, he's gonna run away. So he's gonna go. So I'm like, my
Bye.
man.
Well, you seem to be very good with dogs. You have a dog of your own, correct?
I do. Yeah, Cole, my man. Yeah.
How long have you had Cole?
I've had Cole for let's see, we've had him 2 years now. Yeah. We got him not too long ago. About 2 years, and he's great. So he's a retired racing greyhound. I'd wanted to get a greyhound or a mini greyhound, or I say mini greyhound. There's actually a miniature. They make miniature greyhounds, no, I didn't know this, but there's an Italian greyhound which is like teeny tiny, and then there's the whippet, which is like a miniature, like a medium, I guess. Medium. That's a terrible word for that, but kind of in between. And I was really fascinated by them as animals, just because I didn't see them a lot growing up. I was around a lot of labs and stuff, and we had a golden retriever, and so we had a lot of dogs growing up. I really wanted a dog, and my buddy kept telling me, "Man, you should check out like these retired racers. Like, you would be blown away with their personality and like their heart and their spirit, and you know, having raced for a while, having had like a professional life, right? Think about it, man. Like, they're actually retired, and they're pretty excited about sleeping on a couch all day, like I am when I get off the road. So, like I'm gonna be tomorrow. But you know, I got to meet a few, and they do have an incredibly sweet soul. And Cole was like the shy one, which at first I was like, I'm not gonna say I was scared of, but I was a little concerned. But I ended up connecting with that because I'm shy, and he went into the corner of the room when there were multiple greyhounds in the room, and I felt like when I'm at a party, that's what I do. So I was like, this is my spirit animal. So we connected, and he's been awesome for me. He's taught me a lot about myself. You know, I think pets mirror us, and I learned a lot about my own demeanor through kind of watching him react to me. You know what I mean? And definitely learned just kind of how to chill out a little bit. Not much, because I'm still pretty high strung, but I'm getting there. Yeah. Getting there.
You said he's kind of a couch potato that'll take up your couch on your tour bus and.
Oh yeah. No, we made the mistake of like the first day we had him. We were like, here, get up on the couch. That's not gonna ever not happen. Anywhere we go, he's gonna be the couch. It doesn't matter if it's one couch and there's 20 people in the room. He's gonna be the one on the couch. Yeah. So yeah, but he does. He takes up the whole couch on the bus. And it's a lot of people on the bus, so yeah, I got to be careful when I take them on the bus. Just bring them to the back lounge, like, all right, this is our hangout spot. But I love having him on the road. He's so chill. He's so easy to have on the road. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, he's about to get a little sister too, or yeah, little Elsa. Yeah. Don't worry, you'll see pictures in like 2 days. We'll be everywhere. You thought Cole's pictures were everywhere. That's about to get real.
2 little baby pups.
Yeah.
Does that make you happy though when he's on tour with you, and after getting off stage, you come back to your bus and there's a friendly face for you?
Totally. I mean, and it's not like I sit down on the couch and he like cuddles up in my lap. Obviously, he's a 75-pound greyhound, and I think sometimes when I get off stage, he just couldn't care less. He's like, "Oh, you're back. Cool. Okay, great." But I think it does bring a sense of peace and a sense of home, you know, whereas the bus is home, and I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of our bus, but we went through every effort to make it home. Like we worked really hard on the design of it to make it feel like it was home, but it definitely, I think having him out makes me feel like I'm home, you know? Yeah, a little bit.
So you mentioned you're shy. What's
Yeah.
it like being in this music business, being a shy person? Because you don't seem so shy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. A lot of training. No, honestly, like I've always, and this is the part that I can't figure out. So if you guys could figure this out for me, that'd be great. But for some reason, where I'm uncomfortable, like in a social at a party, I am the worst to take to a party. Don't take me to a party. I'm the worst. I get really shy, and I'm like, "Where's the food?" And I just leave. But when I get on stage, for some reason, I think that's since I was a kid, that was the one place where I felt like I could be myself. And I'm lucky that I'm really blessed that happened so early, because I don't think about it when I'm on stage. When I'm on stage, it's like, yeah, totally, I can be myself, and the geeky guy is cool. You know, it's okay to be geeky and nerdy and me and awkward and not know how to dance and still try and end up on YouTube like a nerd. So I've accepted that, and I kind of love that that's my sort of happy comfort zone, you know? I think we all have our little comfort zones, and for me, I don't know how, in front of people, I become less shy, but I guess for some reason I do. It's a comfort zone, I don't know. I'll probably get some email from somebody who knows a lot about psychological stuff and be like, well, see, here's the explanation for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're like a nerd rock star then, because when you're on stage, it's incredible. You're such a powerful performer.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love performing. I love being on the road. When I'm off the road, I feel very not human. And being on the road allows me to be human again. And I've missed being on the road because we've been, locked up in the studio for so long. Almost done, by the way, guys. Like, I'm having to hold back the reins on telling you all the details, but like so almost done. We're so almost done. And but yeah, it's where everything comes together for me. I live for the show. I wake up every morning going, how can I get back there? You know, when you're writing, you're kind of thinking about it. Even though you're not writing for that, it's motivation the whole way to think about the show at the end of the game, end of the race, I guess. Yeah.
So you gave us a little tidbit there about your new music that's coming.
Yeah.
You have to share with us a little more than that, because we've been waiting for a little bit. We got a song, though, yesterday's song.
Yeah.
Did everyone enjoy that? I enjoyed it a lot. It was good to see you. That was a fun video, too, where you're kind of looking back on what you've done so far.
Yeah, okay, so September, right, last year. Little flashback, little rollback. What happened was 3 songs came out. It was yesterday's song, Amen, and Youngblood. I wanted those 3 songs, mainly because obviously yesterday's song was our first single off of this new project. But I wanted you guys to hear Amen, because I feel like that's where my heart and soul is. That's probably my favorite song to date on the record. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll commit to that. And Youngblood is a close, like, second or third, just because it's the most, like, musically, like, kind of, like, not daring. I don't think of myself as daring, but, like, that's the most, like, honest I've been musically with, like, stuff that I've been like, nah, I can't do that. And on that song, we went for it. And it was just me and the band, just hanging out and kind of just messing around. It was kind of accidentally we made the record ourselves, like, without any adult supervision, and I don't know how they let me get away with that, but it worked. And so that was kind of like the introduction to, this is part of what you'll hear on the record, but also pretty soon you're going to hear another sort of section of songs that explains kind of the other side of the record. That's kind of one side, happy, whatever, like, totally, like, there's a lot of production, there's a lot of stuff, it's super loud and all that stuff, and the other side of the record will not be that. It will be, and not, like, soft and, like, well, there's one song that is kind of like the tear song, but it's just kind of a little more moody, I guess, but definitely just more intense. Writing about, on this project, going from my debut record, I was like 19 when it got released, to now I'm 25, like, we all go through big shifts in that time, and rather than masking that with this record, wanted to write about it and allow myself to write about it, which I normally don't, like, let myself go sort of to certain areas that on this record we just said, no, we gotta go there,
I was going to say, how do you think your tone or your vibe has changed over the course of your career? Because, you were 19, like you said, and now you're 25. So changes happen, and... For one, I learned that my voice changed, and I didn't know that it was changing. And I was over there singing 200 shows a year in this, like, voice that I had when I was 16, and I was 19, and then 20, and it got harder as I got to 21, and then 22. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? And it got so hard that I had to kind of embrace where my new voice is, and also learn what to do with it, because I'd gotten a lot of bad habits, and I'd been training the whole time, but learning where the new voice is, and musically kind of embracing space. I think for a while I got in a habit of, like, just jamming a bunch of stuff into a song in a production for whatever reason, and he's over it. He's so ready to go. He's ready to go. Ready to go back to, and he knows how to,
Yeah, I think he actually just wants to hang out with you, which I think you guys should totally vibe out. Down? I don't know. I just gave that a try. I'm terrible. I'm going to figure this out eventually.
He's good.
But yeah, so kind of embracing space, and thanks to some new collaborations, Dan Huff, who I've worked with since the first record, was really encouraging and really kind of pushed me to try new things, and to stay out of comfort zones. And that's hard to do, when you're kind of working on a record like that. And but new collaborations have really embraced that. Working with Mike Busby, who I've been a big fan of. We wrote Storm Warning together, so we've known each other for a long time, but I've been a big fan of his. And Sam Ellis, we've known each other since I moved to Nashville. He was on the road with us for a little while. We were lucky to have him, and then he's now like full-time songwriting, producing, like crushing it. And so he's doing a lot of work on this record too. So it's been great to like kind of reimagine. And the way that we're making the record isn't like book the studio, here are the 12 songs we're going to cut, and here are the session blocks. Like I've been locked up in a studio for like a year and a half. Yes, going absolutely crazy, but the point is I had a key. I could go whenever I want. I was there all the time, and just kind of made the record however we wanted, whenever we wanted, and kind of recorded whatever we wanted, which has its risks, but you get to fail until you figure it out.
Guys, this dog is so sweet.
He's the best. He's the best.
He give me paw.
Hey, yeah, he's coming with me. No, I'm kidding. I'd love to, but
on tour.
Yeah.
So, is there any song now when you're on tour and you have to perform it?
Oh, there he goes. Hi.
You got it? He's gonna say hello to everybody.
I'm telling you, he's gonna make his way through this entire audience. You give him 2 minutes.
Oh, there he goes. Good boy.
He's exhausted, dude. He's had a long day.
He's like, I'm tired.
Man.
Is there any song of yours from the past now that's more difficult for you to sing and hit those high notes? Is that what you're kind of?
Yeah, well, I'm a few. And I also had to like change a few keys and like be okay with that, because there was some precious thing about that I had for a while, and I just got over it. Because it's like, man, if I can like commit to a song, like it doesn't matter what key it's in. Like when I can sing it, be comfortable, and like deliver the performance that I want to give you guys, like that's where it needs to be, and embracing that. Yeah.
It must be cool that songs like Wanted are, I swear I had so many weddings this year, and it was so many wedding songs.
Seriously?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Does that make you like look back and say, wow, that's awesome, I wrote this song and it's getting so much love? And
Absolutely. And honestly too, like Wanted 100%, and it's such a blessing and such a dream. Invisible, I think, is the one that I talk to people about, or people talk to me about the most. And when you write a song, like you got to know, like I write 100 songs to get 10 songs for a record, right? So there's a lot that gets like kind of left behind. Invisible was one of those songs I was just really adamant about. It had to be on the record. It had to be on the record. It mattered to me, and I wanted it to reach whoever it needed to reach. And the fact that it was a single, I've talked about this on stage. You guys have heard me say it was huge. Still is huge to me. But man, the reach that song has had up to this day still. Like this year, I've gotten multiple occasions where we made an appearance in a couple different places, and we played one song, and that was the only song they wanted us to play. And like at Sundance, that ended up happening. They were like, no, we want to hear Invisible. And just miracle moments like that. Like you hope for a song that reaches somebody that deeply, but you can't like intend to do that. You can't sit in the studio and go, we're going to write this song and it's going to do, just doesn't work that way. So I think the fact that Invisible's done what it's done to this day has been a huge blessing to me, because it's a constant reminder of how powerful music can be when you really just like dig deep and put yourself out there,
What's your songwriting process like? Does a lyric just come to you and you write it down, or is it one of those things where you have to lock yourself in a room for 2 weeks and actually force words out?
No, man, if anything, like on this process, I've learned if you got to force it, forget it. Just scratch it. Go to lunch, come back, come up with something else. Because the songs that get written in a hurry are the ones you don't think about, the ones you don't filter. And I've learned, like, obviously, anybody that goes through the creative sort of like lessons of life, it's like never filter on the front end. Like filter later. Like just word vomit onto a laptop spread whatever page, and then edit it later, figure it out, organize it later, but absolutely pour your heart and soul, and don't edit, don't say something and say, well, that's stupid. It might be stupid, but you'll figure that out later. You know what I mean? And it's been a fun exercise for me to really just like allow myself to say really stupid lines, and it's not like I haven't done that in the past, but yeah, it's often like a concept, like a title, like 2 words in the iPhone or whatever, and then you like bring it up to your friends, or like this past week, it was all just melodies that I had with random lyrics that I had thrown in because they just sounded right and made no sense. Perfect example. But yeah, and just melodies that I had recorded over these like 3 weeks that we were out in Europe. Just random little clips, 30-second clips of songs that ended up turning into entire songs within like 2 hours on this past week. So yeah.
And then do you just go and grab one of those 30 or so instruments you know how to play, and are like, I'm just gonna throw this in this song?
Man, that I'm so.
That is awesome.
I appreciate that. It's also when I hear it, it sounds so pretentious to say that. It's like because I'm just a nerd. Like I just did that because I wanted demos done. Like, and I'm not good at all of those instruments. I don't consider myself to be good. It's like we live in an era where you can record as many times as you want. You can fail as many times as you want until you get it right. Yeah. You know? And I think that's what I'm kind of always going for, whether it's songs or recording or whatever that might be. Not necessarily in the show. I don't really want to get through a 2.5-hour show and fail the 2 hours and then get it right the last 30 minutes, but it works for the creative process.
Well, yeah. You did something right, guys? I think you did something right. I want to get to some audience questions, though, before we wrap up.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you.
You've spoken about how your voice has changed over the years. You were 19 when the first record came out. How has your voice changed lyrically? Are you writing about different things? Are you writing in a different manner? Has the message that you wanted to come across changed over the years?
I think there's a lot of things that are consistent, which is really encouraging to me because if everything was different, I'd feel a little lost. There's still the continuous kind of like where it all begins into Amen, into a song that we've played a few times called Rescue, and another song from the album that I'm really excited for you guys to hear. It goes into that as well. So there's like consistencies. And then there's kind of some out of nowheres. There's a song called Lines that I'm really excited about. All For You was kind of a version of that too, in a way, and it ended up, obviously we wrote it for a movie and it ended up in Monster Trucks, but yeah, a lot of kind of more vulnerable, I guess, like words, lyrics, yeah, well, just embracing some pain on this record, whereas most of the records in my past, I've written a song like, nothing like starting over, and obviously yesterday's song is a prime example of like, kind of leaving something behind, and that's great. But I think it's good to embrace some tough times because it helps you move on. And good Lord willing, it does exactly that. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, totally. Thank you.
That was a
great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's clap it up. I like that.
Yeah.
Who's next? Here we go.
My man. Long time, dude.
Long time. How you been, Hunter?
Good, man. Good to see you again.
It's great to see you too, bud. Definitely. I want to thank you for everything that you're doing for veterans, getting the word out there about PTSD and how it affects 22 veterans commit suicide every single day.
Amen.
Because we're not getting the treatment that we need when we come home. I can't even explain to you how having a service dog has helped me with my transition, being in this crazy city with millions of people every single day. So I wanted to know, you recently visited Walter Reed and saw a lot of the vets coming home. What was it that made you really want to reach out and use your likeness and everything to shed as much light as you have on this subject? I mean, thank you again, really. The soundtrack through Afghanistan, through Iraq, through everything. I mean, we played your music, we sung it at karaoke, we listened to it on Convoys. I mean, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can't even, not even just Invisible. I mean, songs like, I can't even. I Want Crazy, Storm Warning, of course, because when I was in Iraq, your first album was the only one that was out. And then you just are constantly always pushing the boundaries and reinventing yourself. And I think we love that as fans. So
thank you, man.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Can we give him a round of applause? Thank you so much. I'm going to cry up here, right? I'm going to cry.
Man, he was nice enough to share his story with me the first time we met at the Today Show. It was super quick. But yeah, man, that reality that you kind of brought in there is a startling one that not a lot of people know, and a statistic that not enough people know. And I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I mean, dude, like I said, kind of hearing you guys' story, hearing you say that too on that show, that affected me, dude. I want you to know how much I've lived with. There's just that one sentence that you said, and telling me about the fact that like my music was part of your soundtrack in that chapter of your life was huge. I want that for every song, and I want to positively affect every man or woman serving our nation. But anything we can do, right? It's like, man, any chance that I get. Most of the time it shows, right? Most of the time it's going and playing a show, and but anything else that like my music. I mean, my thing is, if you got a microphone, you got a responsibility, And I just love it. It's just a personal, and everybody's got a different message, right? This is not saying that everybody has to say the same thing, but I think I just really connect with the people who spread love, who lift, and who encourage, and who strengthen. And to me, like, you guys' stories strengthen. You lift people up. You inspire. And so it's just that. Anything we can do. It's like whenever you need, we're here. We got your back. That's where we're at. All of us.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Cheers,
another round of applause. I love this round of applause. And we have time for just one more.
Hi, I know you write your own songs, and I know that songwriting can be very therapeutic and emotional. I was wondering, as an artist, have you ever thought of maybe writing for TV or a movie?
You've written for.
Thanks.
Did you do Act of Valor or something like that?
Yeah, nailed it. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm so blown away right now. Yes, I've had the chance to write for some movies, and hopefully at some point some TV shows. There's a lot of results from writing on this record that I feel like might not necessarily be right for the record. They might be too heavy, that feel like they're meant for something TV, movie. And that is kind of a dream of mine. Like, I've gotten the question, like, do you want to get into acting? And I'm like, I am not. Like, yes, but I don't consider myself, like, eligible to just, like, walk on set and go, like, what's up? I'm an actor. It's like, I don't qualify. I want to, and at some point I really want to do acting. But my thing is, like, if I can get more involved in the music side of things, I mean, it was like I was saying, like, we love creating a soundtrack for life. I think it's even more challenging to create a soundtrack for a vision that a director or a writer has, or a performance that has already taken place in a movie that has already been filmed, and that thrills me as a writer. I think that's a challenge that I haven't really fully dove into. You know what I mean? So yes, to answer your question though, that's like yes.
Well, I thought you played Joffrey Baratheon. Did anyone else not think that?
I got that a lot. I got that a lot for a while.
You really did.
Yeah, no, I actually got it. Like, I had a lot of very disappointed people that had already taken pictures with me. They were like, "Oh, you're not." Oh, and they just walk away.
And then you just got to sing to them, and then they'll know exactly who you are.
Hey, you know what? Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Hunter, and thank you for all of your hard work for this great cause. And make sure all the Heartgardians, right?
Heartgardians,
check out
nominate a veteran.
Thank you, guys.